It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
It is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin.
Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for the last week of the season, week 13 of season 5. I am actually joining you from Singapore. Joining me on FaceTime because I'm in Malaysia, actually, not Singapore, but I'll be in Singapore in a couple days. But I'm joined by Geese, who's really upset that I rudely awakened him at like 9:50 East Coast time.
These damn foreigners, they have no regard for time zones.
Apparently, even though it's like 10 in the morning by me, but, you know, or 11 in the morning or something. I don't know. But, yeah, 9 something in the evening. That's just brutal. I mean, you know.
Are we any other league members, or are we going to be the only two on here?
We're going to be the only two on here. I only know so much technology on how to, like, get the FaceTime working for you. So, I don't know. This is the best way to do it.
Just add call and then go call someone.
Yeah, but I can't. I mean, you might have to. You would have to call them, I think. Who are we going to call? I certainly can't call Dr. Hockey because he doesn't have... he's on Android. So I can't even do that. I don't know. Whatever. I tried calling him on the WhatsApp thing, and he didn't answer that either. Whatever. Everybody uses it over here. Nonetheless, let's actually talk some football. Now, I didn't watch any of the games. I mean, like, I saw the scores when I landed, kind of, although I tried to get into my account, and then they thought that I had some suspicious activity, so they were like, no. They were like, can we send you a text message so you can get into your, we can verify it's you? And I'm like, no, you can't. I can't get into here. So then they sent, an email to another email account, and I couldn't get into that one. I tried security questions, which I knew, except one of the security questions was, when did you open this email account? I'm like, I have no idea. So anyway, I eventually saw my score, which I was happy about. Well, so when you open up the app, it shows you your score, and I had like 80 points or something. I was like, oh no. And then I looked at Nick's score, and I was like, wow, that's terrible. So it was nice, but I have no idea what happened in any of these games because I didn't see it. But yeah, there's tons going on. The reason why I wanted to do this show this week, despite being over here, is because there's so many, it's the last week, and there's so many scenarios, and it's kind of exciting. So I didn't want to miss out on that. But I guess we could start with my game versus Nicky Baby in this. I mean, what a pathetic game. So the 1603ers win 86.68 to 59.30. Yeah, I mean, Cousins got 21, Thalian 16, but then everybody else was horrid. Davis, he didn't do anything against Indianapolis, 7.9. Coleman, 9.4. Actually, I played the wrong kicker by playing Butker. That was a mistake. But other than that, I mean, like, I also was very conservative with my play because, like, as I said, like, I left Saturday night and I landed on Monday. So I literally didn't have a Sunday, and I just didn't want to have any, any player with a last minute, oh, you've been, you're out with no ability to do anything about it. But yeah, still got the win. Nicky Baby, 19 points for Stafford, 0 for Crabtree. You were telling me that he got suspended on like the first play or something?
he got into a fisticuffs with Aqib Talib, and then it was a bench-clearing brawl, and both of them got thrown.
Very interesting. And then Sanders only got 4.2, 5 for Ingram, 7 for Fournette, 1 for Cook, 10 for Yeldon, and then 10 for his best player, the Jacksonville defense. So yeah, I mean, Nicky Baby, this is bad. He should have won this game, and 59 points. I mean, that's pretty atrocious. I mean, he left Devontae Adams on the bench with 19 points. And 14 for Deshaun Jackson, but nobody else scored. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking bad for him. The 1603 is clinch first place with this win. I don't know. Not much else to say about this game, really.
Well, we're jet-setting all over the world. The rest of us people who are in their homes in like places like Hackettstown who watch football, you should be a little bit concerned, Mr. Jet Setter, because your Chiefs have lost 5 out of their last 6, and they look abysmal. Like, the Buffalo Bills are no barn burner and barely got 10 points against them. So, these numbers, if they continue from Kelsey and Hunt, that could be pretty interesting for your wrapped-up first-seed team. You can expect numbers in the 80s in the playoffs. I don't know if that's going to get it done.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned. So, I am concerned about this. I have not been paying attention to how the Chiefs have fallen off a cliff. I mean, I watched that game in Dallas. That was like, I think, the last time I saw them. But yeah, I there's some concern certainly. Not gonna lie, but I don't know what I'm gonna. What?
Kareem Hunt, 17 rush yards, 1 catch for 9. What is that? He does that on the first drive.
I know. I don't know what's going on, and not having watched the games, I really don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm concerned. Definitely. See what I could do about it in 2 weeks or something. 3 weeks, right? I have 3 weeks. I have 3 weeks to get my act together. Because this week is an irrelevant game, and then the bye, and then I got to play that week after. But yes, I am concerned. I have been happy about Thalian coming back, though, and doing really well. Because the first half of the season, he wasn't really doing that much. Now he's like a powerhouse.
Yeah, we've already discussed his relationship with Case Keenum.
Hogan's still out. That bothers me. I don't know what the hell's going on there. And then Amendola with only 2.5. And James White with only 2.5. So I am concerned about some of these players right now. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, we might have to do some things. But I don't even know when to bid on any. It's like Wednesday morning. Normally I would just have my players all bid on I don't even know. I'll just have to look at some point, see if I could pick up anybody in the scraps.
Your best player right now is turning out to be Zerline.
He is.
You got to get him in there.
He will be in there. Don't worry. I just gave Butker a try this week. Butker's going away. Zerline will be the guy. I picked up Butker only really actually for week 15 because he has a much better matchup because Zerline's playing Seattle that week. But in looking at this, I'm clearly going to go with Zerline in that game. Anyway, I mean, every time I've benched him, he's come back to bite me, so it's fine.
Well, they said that Aaron Rodgers is going to make a Week 15 comeback, but the only question for Nick is that going to matter?
I don't know. Well, it'll all be determined by next week, but we'll get into the playoff scenarios after this. Is there anything else really on this game?
Besides just no.
All right, where do you want to go next?
All right, we usually go from the lowest game to the blowout of the week. So let's go to the Nick and Jamie.
Okay.
Of the Millennials.
Yeah,
once. Nobody was suspended for the Millennials. Well, I'm sorry, he played Kelvin Benjamin once. Ended up not playing.
Yeah, he could have played Marvin Jones, who got numbers like that last time with 28.9 points. Still wouldn't have done anything because they were blown out. I mean, Nick and Jamie had 29.5 points from Jay Williams on the bench. I don't even know who that is. Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams. I'm telling you, these guys can draft.
Yeah, yes, they can. I mean, this is ridiculous. 164 to 77. So 29 for Brady, 40 for Antonio Brown, 16 for Alshon Jeffrey, 13 for Peterson, Deion Lewis, who they also picked up 12.3, Gronk with 25, 10 for Croft. I mean, my God. Like, so when their players play well, I mean, this is what they do. This is why they're one of the more dangerous teams, and they're in 4th place right now with that win. They could be out of the playoffs with a loss, technically, but they're in 4th place right now. So, yeah. I mean, the Millennials are just phoning it in at this point. I just don't even know what to say. I mean, 18 from Aguilar. I mean, 16 from Alex Smith, which is, like as you said, they're doing terrible. I don't even know what happened. I mean, like, last I remember, he was the best quarterback in the league, and now he's getting 16 points. What is going on?
Yeah, the Chiefs run a cheesesteak Andy Reid. He's running too many gadget plays where they do like a quadruple reverse, and the 4th guy ends up fumbling it. They need to just like play a regular play.
I mean, that's when they had success. That's what they were doing earlier in the season.
Oh, but you're doing that every week. Teams just stand there and wait for the gadget play to be over, and there's nobody open, and he just gets sacked. Nobody goes running around chasing anywhere. They all just stand there and wait for you done with your stupid gadget. You should see the games. This last game in the thing against Buffalo, they ran like a wide receiver screen, and they kept showing it over. 2 receivers were in the same spot. And they both bumped into each other. The ball bounced off their head. Like, if you're throwing a wide receiver screen, there's one guy you're throwing it to. Why are 2 guys going for the ball? It was laughable. It's laughable in Kansas City right now. They're in a free fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the headline of the recap. Nick and Jamie embarrasses the Millennials, moves up to 4th place. Great thing there. I mean, yeah, and then for the Millennials, I mean, they're just but this is what they have when they're on, they're on like this, which is just ridiculous, and when they're off, they can get some low numbers. So, but they're a dangerous team. I don't know.
I don't know. Those guys on their team, it's still the 3-headed monster. I just fear the day when they actually put those bench guys that got 30 and 24 in their regular lineup. They're going to break 200.
They might. I don't know. Wow.
Chargers defense, and they've got Jared Goff to play around with. This team is loaded.
I know. And these are mostly guys that they've just picked up like later on and stuff. So, I mean they still obviously the Brady, Gronk, and Brown were their initial guys, but yeah, they filled them in with like guys throughout the season. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what they're reading, but they're reading something good. All right, anything else on this game?
No, I think that pretty much covers this debacle. I mean, well, Amari Cooper got a concussion. I mean, let's cover these games. There's not many podcasts left. Let's do a little extra analysis on these games, if you will.
Sure.
Alright, so what do we got here? So, this guy's been riding the Jordan Howard train all season. Once again, not really making it happen. He's not exactly making it rain. I mean, he just goes from it's one of those syndromes where it's like every other game. This guy has horrid points and then he gets double digits, and this was one of his horrid games. Except, problem with him is everybody did horrid this week. And I mean, I've had that unfortunately in my experiences too with my team, but I don't know how you don't play Marvin Jones Jr. I mean, that's like you said, it wouldn't have done much difference, but look at that, 30 points in there instead of 0. So, looked a hell of a lot better on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
This coach who's just hasn't made any moves, done a lot of talking, a lot of smack talking, and then just disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know what his plans are for next season, but I hope they include some coaching. But yeah, all right. Now that I got those barbs in there, now we.
All right. So moving on to the next game. I don't know where you want to go.
Oh yeah, I will say one more thing. We already talked about this earlier. Like, as Dave Harback, the god of fantasy football, has already anointed himself 10-2 first place. I can't wait till you play Nick and Jamie and get your ass in the playoffs, because I certainly will not be beating them if I make the playoffs. So good luck with that mess.
I'm trying to not have to play them. I have not anointed myself anything. I've just merely mentioned that that's what the record is. I actually I'm concerned about my team. But
if you draw Nick and Jamie in the playoffs, you're gonna be sweating bullets all night long.
I'm gonna be sweating bullets no matter who I play. I'm gonna be sweating bullets even if I play the Blues, who I made fun of a couple weeks ago. They've been putting up 150 burgers since I made that comment. So I don't care. I'm nervous about all these teams.
The Blues, you call them these names for their coaching choices, and then like Keenan McCardle and Phillip Rivers have just been, or Keenan Allen McCardle. Keenan Allen and Rivers have just been ridiculous.
Yeah, so let's go to that game actually. So the Blues win 163 to 101 against Black Ice Dynasty, who finds himself in trouble finally. So yeah, only like 1 point difference between him and Nick and Jamie. I mean, like, these are two powerhouses. Like, what happened? What happened? Did I actually go into one of those Malaysian Airlines like disappearances where I'm in like a alternate universe or something? I don't understand what's going on here.
I think LeVar's, the weeks where T.Y. Hilton has blown it up, I think he's won every single time, right?
Probably.
It's just like if they don't do well, they really don't do well. And it's like the Nick and Jamie, they all blow it up.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and the thing, like, looking at this game, I mean, 36 points for Kamara. I mean, that guy's been ridiculous, and you've been saying.
That guy's an animal.
But, yeah, I mean, so the Blues, so 34 points from Rivers, 34 from Keenan Allen, 26 from Zach Ertz. And then just, like, good scores, 13 for Mike Evans, 12 for Miller, 13 for Collins. I mean, an impressive game there. I mean, look, Minor, I mean, really, he's suffering from that, like, 11 points from his quarterback. I mean, look, he was going to lose this game no matter what to the Blues with a score like that. But I mean, just to get into the normal 120 kind of thing, you're right. I mean, A.J. Green with pedestrian numbers and T.Y. Hilton sucked this game, apparently. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but, And Vernon Davis with 0 points hurt him, too. So, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you look at Lombardi's team, Rivers and Allen on Thanksgiving. It was a massacre. The Cowboys couldn't stop anything. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It was a joke. I was watching that game, and my jaw dropped when I saw the points Lombardi must have been getting.
Well,
every single time Allen caught the ball, he was running up and down the field. Nobody wanted to tackle him. It's a joke.
Well, they had that the week before with the Bills, too, where they just blew out the Bills, like when they had Peterson in there. I mean, so that's been the last 2 weeks, essentially, is that Lombardi's been riding the Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen train that have just...
Yeah, they're getting hot, and then Zach Ertz is hot.
Yeah, but he's been hot all season. I mean, other than the brief injury, I mean, he's been hot all season. So no, the difference in this team is Rivers and Allen. I mean, what is that? 34 and 34. What's that? That's 70 points almost between the two of them, and he got 163. So I mean, you take that away and you get back to what his scores were before. So.
He's getting hot, as he calls himself, the Blues. The Blues are getting hot.
They are, and this is the right time to do it if you want, So, I don't know. Anything else really on this game?
So, is this the team at this point that you let's go over who do you want to play and who you don't want to play? The team that would you rather play Nick and Jamie or this team?
I don't want to play either. First of all, I don't want to play the Blues, especially because he's eliminated me so many times, and I fear him being able to do that again. I would hate that. I don't know. I don't.
Sniffed the fantasy football playoffs. I have no idea what any of this feels like.
Well, you are close, but I don't know. I don't do who I want to play. I certainly don't want to play anybody. I just want to be handed the trophy. Like, I don't want to have to play anybody. I'm very fearful of having to play anybody because I think that all of these other teams, especially, are getting hot at the right time, and it's concerning to me.
Well, that's not gonna fly on this show, all right? This is a dog-eat-dog podcast, all right? We're not gonna have any fluff here. Where you just compliment every team and say they're all good. Now, you have to eventually make some tough statements.
There's nothing tough to make right now, especially when I don't know what's going on, really, not having watched football. But okay, so then there's this game, and then so then let's go to the next one, which is Eugene. You want to go there? Eugene versus the special team?
Special teams? Oh, what a shame. We don't have Ezekiel Elliott. We're a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, but he did win a couple of games after. I mean, it looked like last week like the Whalers was going to be the team that got in, but now he's down to 5-7. Eugene ends up winning 124-103. I don't know, Wilson. I mean, so the Wilson to Baldwin combo. Wilson did his job, but Baldwin wasn't his butt buddy this time. Only got 4 points. Larry Fitzgerald came back down to earth with 6.2. Le'Veon Bell with 28. Wow. Yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins with 19. I don't know. And then the Whalers, what did he do? Nothing.
Whalers was betting all season on Greg Olson's return, and then he returned and re-injured his foot. And points, so that's a tough break there, pun intended.
Clearly. And he picked up Cooper Kupp and left him on the bench with 19 points.
Oh my god, I couldn't wait to get rid of that guy. Now he's doing well because Robert Woods is injured. We just can't make it to save our life.
Apparently. I don't know. You think, I don't know, what do you think about the Eugene here? You think he's cooling off?
He's the greatest coach in the league, obviously. But
obviously.
Since he's not here, we don't have to worry about that.
I mean, he's traveling. He's traveling too. He's in Mexico and still doing all of this. But as if that matters. But the only reason why I made the comment about my travel was because it's like I literally didn't have a Sunday. But anyway, go ahead. But he was traveling fine. Maybe this is the Mexican. He's behind the wall. And, it hurt his chances or something. I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
Well, riding the Philly D. Philly D was a great pickup.
It was.
DeAndre Hopkins is still surprised. Even with Savage at quarterback, he's still making his numbers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then he's still riding high on the Le'Veon Bell deal. And then Russell Wilson to Baldwin has been a powerhouse. But you see right here, Baldwin, this is what happens when Baldwin doesn't show up. Mm-hmm. So I think Eugene's deficiency, it's still that RB2. He's still got that running back 2 issue. I mean, this time he shoved in Abdullah instead of Bilal Powell or whatever fucking loser he shoves in there all the time. He just, Roethlisberger with 40. So that's why he's got Orly and Darko on the bench. He really doesn't have a running back 2.
Yeah.
And then with that suspension, I mean, he's got Alan Hearns, who's out. I mean, Doug Martin, good luck with him. I threw him in the garbage can. Whalers picked him up. He got a concussion. Ow. I mean, the Whalers is just, he's been fishing for ex-Hagglers all season. So he's got Cooper Kupp and Doug Martin. There's a reason I threw all the people in the garbage. Alan Hearns is questionable. What a surprise. McKissick, you can McKissick your career. I mean, his whole bench is ex-Hagglers. But, like you said, this guy looked like he was cruising to get back into it and then hit a speed bump at 5-7. So, I guess there's a chance for him to make it still, but with this lineup, it's going to have to hopefully play somebody who sucks. Really is his only chance.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about the playoff scenarios after we're finished with wrapping up last week's game. So, what do we have? 2 more games to go. House Targaryen versus the Tilla Trade team. This was a shocker. Um, House Targaryen gets 144 and beats Tilla Trade team who only got 80 points. I mean, 5 points from Dak Prescott.
Oh, he had a horrible game. Horrific Chargers.
Yeah, 1 for Macklin, 1.5 for Parker, or 1.6 for Macklin. Gurley got 16 for Perrine, the Washington guy who was replacing Thompson. 12.4 from Graham. I mean, yeah, Gurley's going to have a better game to make up for a game where Prescott only gets 5 points. I mean, and then hockey he's been on a tear, sort of. I mean, and a lot of, like 50 points from Julio Jones. I mean, that's really where his his offensive output came from in this game. I mean, 29 from Wentz, which was good, and Tate had 6, and 10 from Johnson, and 20 from Lynch. But 50 from Julio Jones. I mean, that's basically this game.
Well, I have to be careful with my bulletin board material because I played hockey this week, and I got to beat them to get into the playoffs.
No, well,
so,
I thought this is what's with all this fluff? I thought this is not a place to.
Well, not necessarily fluff. It's just it's strategic.
Right. When you do it, it's strategic.
Like what I would agree, like 50.8 for Julio Jones. That's got to be the season high in points for any one player. That's absurd.
Yeah.
So that's a third hockey score. Right? So this 144 is a little bit inflated.
Yeah.
Every week, Bob. So this is a lot closer if you don't get a 50 burger from Julio Jones. What the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just decided to leave him wide open. It's only Julio Jones. What can he do?
Yeah. Exactly.
What can happen? We'll just let him run up and down the field. 253 yards receiving. He won't have in a season. The backup wide receiver doesn't even get that in a season. I mean, that's ridiculous. In one game, 253 yards receiving. I mean, that's like up and down the football field 2.5 times.
Just in receptions, let alone the two TDs.
All the nonsense. That was ridiculous. I mean, let's just say Dr. Hockey benefited from that mess. Right.
Yes, he did. So I think that's.
Look at the rest of his lineup. I mean, Golden Tate was, 6 points, 4.8 for Ingram, 6 for Horvath. I mean, let's see if he left anything on the bench. Case Keenum, Clay, and again, take away the 50 burger, and this is a different story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He still wins, but.
I mean, and for Tillett, I mean, I don't know. He has to be concerned, I would think.
Ever since Aaron Rodgers went down, Tillett just fell to pieces. That and the Dalvin Cook injury.
Yeah. Well.
Never recovered.
Well, he got back. He recovered from the Dalvin Cook injury, I think. But what the losing Aaron Rodgers and thus losing Jordy Nelson, I mean, that really is where it kind of fell apart for him.
Yeah.
All right, and then all right. Well, let's go on to the last game, so we can talk about some playoff scenarios. The Lightning Rods fall to the Hackettstown Hagglers, 133 to 123. I'll let you talk about this game, being that you are quite familiar with it.
Well, this slugfest took place on Thursday. I saw the Lightning Rods threw in like 4 players Thursday. I thought he was going to play Carolina defense versus Jets. Now, he was all about the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday. And then Kyle Rudolph got a disgusting 22.3 points. That got me riled up because I'm fighting for my playoff life, okay? So he's got Murray and Rudolph. The Minnesota defense played. Des Bryant played. I mean, he threw it all out there early. So I was like, you know what? F this crap. So we went with the Washington Redskins defense. We threw Prater out there. And then we Alfred Morris was a mistake. I think that guy, Whalers, if you're listening, Alfred Morris is going to be available at like 2 in the morning. If you're shopping for more ex-Hagglers, come in. And then, it came all the way back down to the Monday night game. I thought it was going to be another Marvin Jones Jr. debacle because Martavius Bryant, they flipped it to him on like a wide receiver reverse, and he got stumbled and he tripped up. He landed at the 1 yard line, elbow hit down. So I was like, ooh, that was close. And then later on, he catches a touchdown pass, and it just flashbacks of Marvin Jones Jr. happened. And then he got it all the way to 10 points, and I'm like sweating bullets. And then the Steelers are just like, hey, we're just going to run it from here on out. But that could have been the season right there. But on a side note, it's satisfying to essentially knock this guy out of the playoffs after he did that to me 2 years ago. He doesn't even remember it, but I do. As for these suckers, Tyrod Taylor's no dynamo, but him and Jones combo meal saved the day. I mean, this Adam Thielen guy, he's got to slip on a banana peel because Diggs needs somebody. He needs the ball. He can't just snap the ball and just throw it to wherever Thielen is every friggin' time. I can't stand that shit. And luckily, Devontae Freeman did slip on a banana peel, so you see what kind of numbers Coleman can put up. Doyle showed that Mohamed Sanu had a touchdown pass, which is awesome. Like, I got the passing yards and the touchdown, but now those have disappeared from the stats. So maybe they took them away.
No, it's there. I see it. One pass TD.
Oh, okay, yeah. We had 51 passing yards. That was on there earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
But otherwise, that's how close we came. And from here on out, man, every game's a playoff game. So.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's look at the standings and go over what the playoff scenarios are for teams. Like, okay, so as I mentioned, and I love to mention, although it really doesn't matter, because the playoffs are all that matter. The 1603ers clinch first place, have the bye in the first week. Dave's Secret Crush and the St. Blues are both 8-4, and one of the two will get second place in the bye. The other one will be playing in the wild card week. Following that up, there's the 6-6 grouping of teams. That's Nick and Jamie, followed by Tillet Trey, Black Ice Dynasty, and the Hackettstown Hagglers. And then the 5-7 praying that other teams slip on a banana peel, trying to get in, are the special teams, Nicky Baby and the Lightning Rods, and the already golfers are House Targaryen and the Millennials. Only one of the two who could play spoiler. The Millennials, really, they can just go to the course at this point. So these are the playoff scenarios, basically. So let's look at the next week's games. So Dave's Secret Crush is playing Nick and Jamie, and the Blues are playing the special teams. So in order for the Blues to get second place, they need Nick and Jamie to win, and they need to win. So it's basically a pretty straightforward scenario there for them. If that happens, then they're in. If just because of the points, there's no way that he's going to catch up with the points. So Eugene, all he has to do is win, and he clinches second place. But a loss does open it up. And if they both lose, then, well, Eugene gets second place. And nobody else can catch. Nobody can get up to third other than those two. So 1 through 3 are basically settled. Then 4 through I don't know what is not even remotely settled. So there's so many scenarios that go through this thing right now. Let's go to the Hagglers way into the playoffs, which is easy enough. So win and you're in, basically, because here's why. Because next week, Black Ice Dynasty is playing Tillet Trey team. And one of the two has to lose. So they're both 6-6. One of the two is going to be 6-7. One of the two is going to be 7-6. The one who wins is in. So that's a playoff game for both Black Ice Dynasty and Tillet Trey. But because of that, if the Hagglers win, then they would be 7-6, and they would get into playoffs over the team that lost. However, if the Hagglers lose, then that opens up the door for a lot of other teams. So, that
There's going to be Dr. Hockey fans this weekend.
yes, there are a lot of Dr. Hockey fans this weekend because if hockey wins, then okay, so the special teams, like I mentioned, they're playing the Blues. If the special teams win at that point, they might be able to get in because it's all going to come down to points at that point. Nicky Baby, who is playing the Lightning Rods, so the loser of the Nicky Baby Lightning Rods game, they're just out because there's they'll be 5 and 8, and they actually they're just out. The one who wins has a chance, theoretically, on points to get in. Now, a lot of those teams, if so they're going to have large scoring games. So I think a lot of those teams actually are going to be rooting for Black Ice Dynasty because they have 1370 points, and it's catchable for some of these teams. I mean, they'd still have to have a good game because they need like 50. They need to beat LeVar by about 50 points. I mean, Tilletre has an extra 11 points on him. So, I don't know. I mean, I actually don't even know who would benefit from that team. All I know is that, the loser of the Lightning Rod Nicky Baby game, they're just out. The winner needs some help. So they need a Hackettstown Haggler loss combined with a big point total for them.
So are we saying that a Haggler win essentially closes the door for the rest of the year?
So no, because Nick and Jamie. Well, yes, it'll close a lot of doors for them because Nick and Jamie, if they lose, they would be 6 and 7, and then they have the points though on all the other teams. So most likely, I mean, Nick and Jamie, they're in 4th place now. They could drop down to 6. So a Haggler win would actually move the Hagglers above Nick and Jamie. Otherwise, it would be if the Hagglers won, they would be in 6th place. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there were all these scenarios. I don't really know. I mean, okay, we could go through each team's scenario. So we've gone through the top 3. Then Nick and Jamie, if they win, then they just, because of the points, then they're clearly in 4th place. As we said, Black Ice Dynasty plays Tilletre, so one of the two teams is going to definitely win. So if they win and Nick and Jamie lose, then that team will move into 4th place. If Nick and Jamie wins, then the winner of that game will move up to 5th place. The loser will move down. If the Hagglers lose, they will move down to maybe 6th, depending on what the other teams do. But if the Hagglers win, then the Hagglers will move into 6th, and the loser will move down to at least 7th. So there's a lot riding on your game.
So the entire league is riding on our game.
Essentially.
It really doesn't matter what happens between LeVar and Tilletre. They both make it too.
Well, yeah, because one of the two is definitely going to lose.
But even the loser can make it in.
The loser can theoretically make it in, but it's a very... So the loser can make it in with a Haggler's loss. However, it depends on the points. Because the Whalers could still get in, Nicky Baby could still get in, Lightning Rods could still get in with a win and points, although the point totals, are probably in their favor. And then also depending on, Nick and Jamie. Because then there's seeding to determine also. Theoretically, the Hagglers could move as high as 5th, I think, because Black Ice Dynasty, because I don't think you're going to catch them in points, which means that Tilletre or Black Ice Dynasty would move to 4th with a Nick and Jamie loss, which means that you would probably play Black Ice Dynasty or Tilletre if you were to win. No, if Nick and Jamie lost, sorry. But if Nick and Jamie won, then they would probably stay at 4th, and then Black Ice Dynasty would move to 5th. So Nick and Jamie would play Black Ice Dynasty or Till It Trey, and the Hagglers would play either the Blues or Eugene. But if the Hagglers lose, then it opens the door for all of these other teams to possibly, I don't know, get in. I mean, and looking at it, I mean, I don't want to go through like a full, because we're so early in terms of the week, and people haven't even come close to making their edits at this point, so there's not really, I don't need to go into the analysis of each game, I don't think, necessarily. I mean, first of all, the 1603ers versus the Millennials, that game couldn't matter less. Millennials are in last, the 1603ers, like, that game is irrelevant. What else? Nicky Baby versus Lightning Rods. I mean, you could do a quick pick if you want, like, based on what you see here, but loser is out. Definitely. And I think I would pick the Lightning Rods in this game, just a quick glance, but like I said, nobody's made any roster moves. They haven't even gotten their free agents yet, so. But I just think, I mean, Nicky Baby just seems to be in a free fall. So, I mean, based on previous whatever, I would probably pick him. What about you?
I don't. I guess I would say, but Lightning Rods has Chiefs on his team, and they're in a free fall too. So.
Yeah. I don't know. And then, so the Blues versus the special teams. What do you think is going to happen there? We could do a quick overview of this game because this actually matters. Well,
Blues has been on a roll lately. I think the person help him roll over this.
Well, I mean, Rivers and Allen. I mean, San Diego's playing Cleveland, so.
I think they keep rolling in that one.
Yeah, which would, if that happens, then that would eliminate the Whalers. Then what other? So Nick and Jamie versus Dave Secret Crush.
Well, that's actually interesting. I predicted that Eugene would slam the door shut on their playoff hopes in the last week of the season, but I don't know anymore. These guys are just, when their players get it going, they're ridiculous. I don't know if I can pick against Nick and Jamie right now. Let me see.
All right, we can analyze this game.
They're superstars.
So Brady
matchups.
Brady and Gronk at Buffalo, Antonio Brown at Cincinnati, Alshon Jeffrey at Seattle, and then Peterson at versus the Rams. Whereas Eugene has Wilson and Baldwin versus Philadelphia, Larry Fitzgerald at the Rams, Le'Veon Bell at Cincinnati, Abdullah at Baltimore, Hopkins at Tennessee. I don't know. I mean, there's not terrible matchups for either of these teams. I mean, Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know. I mean, right now the projection is 135 to 126 in favor of Nick and Jamie. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna say Nick and Jamie.
Good game.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good game.
It makes no difference. Well, I guess it makes a difference to Eugene because he's playing for the bye.
Yeah, if Eugene loses this, then and Lombardi wins, then he gets the bye. Lombardi does.
So there's a lot at stake here. And of course, Jamie are they even fighting for their playoff lives? Does it matter what they do?
Yes, they could be. They kind of are. I mean,
I don't see a scenario. Even if they lose, they're still the highest ranked 6 and 17 points wise.
Yeah,
I think it doesn't even matter.
You're probably right. Because all right, so even if they were 6 and 7, can there be enough 7 and 6? So there can only be.
It's only 1 7 and 16.
Yeah.
Besides Minor and Till It Trey.
Well, yeah, but one of those two teams is gonna lose, and then you could get there. So then, yeah, no, I guess this doesn't even matter.
All the drama and suspense out of this
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter what Nick and Jamie do. So I'm going with Eugene.
I mean, it's a matter of seed. I mean, this is a game. This whole thing is a matter of seeding.
You know what? The way their team is built, I don't give a rat's ass what seed they are.
I mean, yeah, but it's well, Nick and Jamie is not. They're playing in the wild card week no matter what. I mean, the interesting thing though. No, they wouldn't play each other 2 weeks in a row. I was thinking no because I don't. Because if Nick and Jamie won, then Eugene would be third. No, so they wouldn't play each other 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, Nick and Jamie, with nothing to play for, really, I'm going with Eugene.
I mean, they do have something to play for. They're playing for whether or not they'll be in 4th place or 6th place.
Yeah, but again, this is a team that's just devastating. Doesn't matter where they are.
True, but I mean, Eugene is certainly playing for something.
Eugene would like to just get out of that thing next week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there's probably inter-office trash talking with Lombardi.
Yeah. I'm actually going to pick Nick and Jamie to win this game. I mean, based on what I see, just early on.
Well, Eugene, I'm going with Eugene, especially with the other teams.
Yeah. All right. So other than that, there is
situation to be in. Doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you're making the playoffs at 6-6. That's convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So there's that game. We could talk about your game briefly. Any comments, Coach, that you want to talk about this game? I mean, House Targaryen has been on a tear lately. But I know.
Well, House Targaryen has some ridiculously tough matchups this week. I don't think Minnesota's going to let Julio Jones run up and down the field wide open for 150 yards. And then Wentz with Seattle, and then Tate at Baltimore. That's not exactly a walkover for his team. Duke Johnson basically sucks anyway. You never know what you're going to get out of Marshawn Lynch. Evan Ingram, if you missed the Thursday night game, Manning couldn't connect to him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Rob, and then you got the kicker and D. I mean, this is actually going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah. And this is one where I think, at least any players below you will certainly be rooting for House Targaryen.
Oh, they're all going to. I'll tell you what, right now, this is like, it's a playoff atmosphere from here on out. So there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's 2 weeks, so there's no like, oh, we'll get hockey next week. No. This is it. This is it. It's all in. Luckily, I found out that Drake's running back by committee guy, Williams, slipped on a banana peel. He injured his shoulder, so he's out. So Drake's Cakes is going to be the sole guy. He's going up against Denver, which is no picnic. Doyle against Jacksonville's horrible. Sanu against Minnesota. I got some tough matchups, too.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Denver gave up like 20 points to Marshawn Lynch last week for Dr. Hockey, so, I mean, it's not like it's not possible.
Right, but the Giants give it up to everybody.
That's true. So, yeah, I mean, but, yeah, so all the teams below you will be rooting against you, and even the Tillett, Trey, and Minor will be rooting against you too, because the loser, if you lose, has a chance of getting in. Otherwise, it's like that's completely a playoff game. Win and you're in, lose and you're out.
So, seeing how the Hagglers control the fate of everybody below the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. This is. There's a lot of House Targaryen fans rooting for Dr. Hockey. That's all I can say about that for this.
See a lot of Colin Kaepernick jerseys.
Exactly. All right, and then the last game of the week, which is the most important, I think, for the two teams involved, which is the other. Well, no, it's not the most important. Obviously, your game with Dr. Hockey is the most important for everybody. This game is just important for the two that are playing. win and you're in, lose and you got to hope for a Haggler's loss and some other things to happen. But yeah, so Black Ice Dynasty versus Tillit Trey. I don't know. I mean, these are two teams kind of on a down skid. But, you know, I mean, T.Y. Hilton plays Jacksonville based on our earlier conversation. That's not great for him. What's going on over there? Are you having dinner served to you at 10 p.m. or whatever now?
What are you talking about?
I heard some silverware move around.
I banged into a fork, all right? Whatever. So, Chimera is Miner's not-so-secret weapon.
Right.
And that got ridiculous. So, Tillit Trey is going to have to worry about him. That's his Todd Gurley.
Playing Carolina, though.
Yeah, playing Carolina. I don't know. It doesn't matter. This guy they just throw him the ball every down.
I think that Tillit needs a performance out of Dak Prescott, really, is what it comes down to. Because Prescott, I mean, you know, he earlier in the season he was a monster, and then he got 13 points versus Atlanta, 1 against Philadelphia, and 5.6 against the Chargers. I think that this game completely comes down to Dak Prescott playing versus Washington.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor, obviously.
I mean, Kamara's playing versus Carolina, so they are a difficult defense to play against, and T.Y. Hilton against Jacksonville. I mean, he doesn't really... I mean, Mariota is still his quarterback. I mean, yikes. I don't know. Yeah, I think this largely comes down to Dak Prescott, depending on what's going on. I might even throw in I mean, Jordy Nelson's been so bad. But against Tampa Bay, maybe Tampa Bay will go, you know, I like that coverage that we ran against Julio Jones last week. Let's do that for Jordy Nelson, 2-man free. Although I don't know if I would do it. I don't know. I'd probably put in Matt Ryan. Maybe. I don't know. These are tough choices for him. And then Miner...
Yeah, he's got some tough decisions to make.
Yeah, then Miner has some... He's got to figure out something at tight end. I don't know. And so the reward for winning this game, by the way, is probably playing Nick and Jamie the following week in the playoffs.
Oh, so it doesn't even matter. Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah, probably. I mean, most likely scenarios, I don't know. But yeah. Because if Nick and Jamie wins their... Well... So if Nick and Jamie loses, then they would play the Hagglers. The winner of this game would play the Hagglers.
See, the only sweet part about me making the playoffs is, like, I'm guaranteed to not play Nick and Jamie. That's all I care about.
Well, I'm certainly rooting for Nick and Jamie to get 4th place, because then that means... Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, well, because the highest they can get. So then that means if any of the lower teams win, then I don't have to play them in the first week. And they can't get higher than 4th, so whatever. I certainly don't want them at 6th. That means if they win, then they play me immediately the next week.
No, I can't. I would relish that. I get messed with that team. I don't even want to go near that team.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, Miner on a good week can certainly, you know, he can go toe-to-toe with them.
I know, but all the pieces have to work.
Well, I mean, whatever. They got to focus on this week's games anyway, because this is essentially a playoff game for both of these teams. So there's really what?
Oh yeah, although a Miner loss and a Hagler loss, he's still in good shape to make it.
Yeah, but a Miner, yes, they're both in good shape to make it if you lose. But then it just still takes the destiny out of their own hands. They control it for themselves if they win. Like it's a win and you're in for them. It's a loss, then you're crossing your fingers, kind of thing.
I wonder if nobody watches this podcast. Nobody's gonna know how important Hagler is. This is like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, they're all going to be focused on their own game, going, oh, well, look at this. It's like, no, the game you have to actually watch is the Hagglers.
That opens up that extra playoff spot for you to get in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or shuts the door. You could have, like, the most amazing game, but if that game doesn't go your way, then it doesn't matter.
If we beat hockey 60 to 59, you're out.
Yep. All right. Well, I am gonna go do touristy things, I think, and I guess you're gonna go scour the free agent market or something, right?
Well, it's well enough for another 3 hours.
No. Well, I don't know. You could do whatever you do with your life. Video games. All right. So I look forward to next week's podcast where we'll actually be able to find out how all of this all of this went down, and we can analyze some playoff matchups. So that's it's quite exciting. I will land. I think I land at like 10 a.m. or so. I land like right when the games start, so I'll be able to actually maybe watch some of these games. Yeah, so glad you could join us, and good luck, everybody. See you next week.
Good luck, everybody.